Welcome to my channel, my friends. I am so happy you are here today, because what I am about to share with you can completely change the way you speak English forever. Let me ask you, have you ever felt stuck because every time you want to speak, you first have to think in your own language, then translate each word into English? And while you're doing that, the moment is gone, and you feel nervous or even a little embarrassed. What if I told you that you could stop that process completely and start thinking directly in English just like native speakers do? No more slow answers. No more losing confidence. No more feeling like English is a big mountain you cannot climb. Today, I will give you easy, simple, and powerful tips so you can start thinking in English right now. And here's the best part. By the time you finish this video, you will already know how to switch your brain into English thinking mode. And once you start, you will never want to go back. Chapter 1. Why thinking in English changes everything. When most people start learning English, they focus on words and grammar rules. They try to remember long vocabulary lists or repeat sentence patterns from a book. And yes, those things are important. But here's the truth. Knowing English words is not the same as thinking in English. You can know hundreds of words and still feel stuck when you try to speak. Why? Because if your brain is still thinking in your native language, you will always have a small delay before you speak. You will have to translate each thought word by word into English. And that makes speaking feel slow and stressful. Think about this. You're sitting in a cafe and a waiter asks you, "Would you like something to drink?" If you are thinking in your native language, first you hear the English words, then you translate them, then you think of your answer in your language, then you translate your answer into English. That's 4 steps for one simple question. No wonder it feels tiring. But if you are thinking directly in English, you hear the words, you understand instantly, and you answer right away. It's fast, natural, and you feel more confident. Translation is not only slow, it also causes mistakes. When we try to match every word in our language to an English word, the meaning can change. Sometimes a sentence that is correct in your language sounds strange in English. That's why people often say something and then feel it doesn't sound right. Thinking in English helps you use the natural patterns of the language so your sentences are clear and correct without extra effort. Let me give you some examples of how translation slows you down in everyday life. Imagine you are ordering food at a restaurant. The waiter asks, "Are you ready to order?" If you translate, you might take a long pause, and the waiter may even repeat the question. Or imagine talking to a friend in English. They tell you a funny story and you want to laugh and reply, but you need to translate your joke first. By the time you finish, the moment has passed. Or think about being in class and the teacher asks you a quick question. If you have to translate before answering, you might miss your chance to speak. Now, let me share a short story about one of my students. Her name is Maria, and she is from Brazil. When Maria first joined my class, she had a big vocabulary and knew a lot of grammar. But every time I asked her a question, she paused for a long time before answering. One day she told me, "I understand everything you say, but I have to translate my answers in my head, and that makes me slow." I taught her how to start thinking in English using small steps. At first, she practiced with single words, then short sentences. She stopped trying to translate perfectly and focused on quick thinking. In just 2 months, she was answering my questions without any long pauses. She told me, "It feels like my brain is lighter now. I can speak without thinking about every word." That's the power of thinking in English. Top moment. I want you to imagine something right now. Picture yourself having a conversation in English. You are smiling, speaking without hesitation. The words are coming naturally. You're not worried about grammar. You're not stopping to translate. You're just talking, and the other person is listening with interest. Can you see it? Can you feel how easy and comfortable it is? That is what happens when you start thinking in English. This change doesn't happen in one day, but it can happen faster than you think. And once you feel that freedom, you will never want to go back to slow translation again. You will enjoy speaking because it will feel like your thoughts and your words are connected in the same language. So, if you're ready to feel free when you speak English, the first step is to start small. Chapter 2. Step 1. Start with simple words you already know. Many learners think they need to start speaking in full sentences from the very beginning, but that's not true. In fact, if you try to force yourself to make perfect sentences right away, you will feel stressed and slow down your progress. The first step to thinking in English is actually very small. Start with single English words you already know. Think about it. Every thought you have does not need to be a sentence. Your brain is constantly noticing things, actions, objects, sounds, and feelings. When you are learning to think in English, you can train your brain to notice these things using just one English word. This is easier, faster, and much less scary than trying to speak in full sentences at the start. Let's take some everyday actions. For example, eat, walk, read, sleep. These are simple words, but they are part of your life every single day. When you wake up in the morning and you are having breakfast, instead of thinking I am eating in your native language, just think the word eat in English. When you are walking to the bus stop, just think walk. If you are reading something on your phone, think read. And when you are feeling tired and want to go to bed, think sleep. You don't need to add anything else yet. Just replace your native language thoughts with these single English words. Here's why this works. Your brain is making a direct connection between what you see or do and the English word for it. You are skipping translation. This is the foundation for thinking in English. Later you will connect these words into sentences, but right now, we are building the habit of going to English first. You can practice this anywhere. If you're in the kitchen and you see an apple, think apple. If you hear music, think music. If you feel happy, think happy. The more you do this, the faster your brain will remember the English word without searching for it. Now, here's a fun game for you. For the next 2 minutes, I want you to look around wherever you are right now and name everything you see in English. If you see a table, think table. If you see a book, think book. If you see a person, think man or woman. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about making a sentence. Just say the word in your mind. Spike moment. Let's actually do this together right now. I'll give you a moment. Look around. Ready? Go. What do you see? Chair, window, phone, pen, bag, shoes, water, light. Keep going. The faster you can name things, the better. If you don't know the English word, just skip it for now and continue with what you do know. This game might seem too easy, but it's very powerful. You are training your brain to see the world in English. Over time, more and more of your thoughts will start to appear in English naturally. Another way to practice is to choose one part of your day and make it your English thinking time. For example, when you brush your teeth, think about everything you see and do in English. Toothbrush, toothpaste, mirror, water, mouth. This turns a simple daily routine into a quick English lesson for your brain. You can also practice with pictures. Look at a photo and name everything in it. For example, if you have a picture of a park, you might see grass, tree, sky, bench, flower, child ball. This works really well if you want to practice without leaving your home. At first, you might only know a few words, and that's okay. The goal here is not to know every single word, but to start making English the first language your brain uses to identify something. Even if you only replace 5 or 10 thoughts each day with English words, that is progress. Remember, this step is like planting seeds. Each word you practice is a seed in your brain. Later, these seeds will grow into full sentences and full conversations. But first, we need to plant them. So keep practicing this step every day. Just 1 or 2 minutes at a time can make a big difference. And here's the best part. You don't need books, teachers, or a classroom for this. You can do it anywhere, anytime, just by changing the language in your thoughts. When single words feel easy and natural. When you can look around and name many things without hesitation, then you are ready for the next step. Connecting them. Chapter 3. Step 2. Connect words into small sentences. Now that you've trained your brain to think in single English words, it's time to take the next step. And this is where your English thinking really starts to feel alive. This step is like building a small bridge. On one side of the bridge, you have single words like apple, walk, book, happy. On the other side, you have the world of real English conversation. And that bridge is made of short, simple sentences. This step is powerful because it's the connection between just knowing words and using them in real life. Here's something important to remember. You don't need big, complicated sentences right now. You don't even need perfect grammar. What you need is to connect words. Let's start small. Think of a noun, a person, place, or thing, and a verb, an action. Put them together. That's it. Dog runs. I eat. She smiles. These sentences are tiny, but they are real English. They're clear, they're easy, and they help your brain start to think in complete ideas instead of just single words. When you start doing this, you'll feel your thoughts moving faster. Why? Because your brain is no longer stopping to translate. Imagine this. You're sitting in a cafe. You see a man drinking coffee. Instead of thinking in your native language, a man is drinking coffee and then translating. You just think in English. Man drinks coffee. It's quick, it's direct, And it's how your brain starts to accept English as the default. Here's another example. You're at home, and you see your phone on the table. You think phone rings. Or maybe you're walking outside and you see kids playing. You think, kids play. It might feel too simple at first, but this is exactly what makes it work. No stress, no fear, just clear English thoughts. Let's try a quick practice together right now. Look around the room you're in. Pick one thing you see. Can you make a short sentence about it? Maybe you see your computer. Computer works. Or maybe you see your bag. Bag sits. Or if your cat is next to you, cat sleeps. Notice how fast these sentences come when you don't translate. That's the magic starting to happen. Now, let's make it more personal. Think about the last thing you did before watching this video. Can you say it in 3 short sentences in English? Let me give you an example. If I just made a cup of tea, I might say, I boil water, I make tea, I drink tea. That's it. 3 short sentences. No translation, just direct English thoughts. Here's your spike moment. I want you to pause the video for 30 seconds and actually say your sentences out loud. Don't just think them silently. Your brain needs to hear your voice speaking English. This is when your mouth and your mind start to work together. So go ahead, pause, say your sentences, and feel that confidence grow. When you do this often, something amazing happens. You'll start to notice that in your daily life, you automatically connect words into short sentences without even trying. You'll see a friend and think, friend waves. You'll open a book and think, I read. You'll take a walk and think, I walk. And the more you do it, the faster your English thinking becomes. So remember, you don't need to wait until you know more English to start thinking in sentences. You can do it today with the words you already know. And each short sentence is like one brick on the road to speaking English naturally. Transition. When single sentences feel easy and natural, that's when the real magic begins, because now you're ready to take those sentences and start building real flowing English thoughts. And that's exactly what we'll do next. Chapter 4. Step 3. Make many stories in your mind. Here is where your thinking in English starts to feel alive. You're no longer just saying single words or short sentences. Now, you are connecting ideas. You are making small, simple stories in your mind, and that changes everything. A mini story is not a big, complicated thing. It's just a short series of sentences that describe something that is happening, or something that happened. And the best part, you can create these many stories in your head anytime while walking, cooking, waiting for a bus, or even before you sleep. The secret to making these stories is to use the what, where, when, why method. First, say what is happening, then say where it's happening, add when it's happening, and finally, say why it's happening or how you feel about it. This method gives your brain a clear and easy way to think in English without stopping. For example, you can start with something super simple. I wake up. That's the what. Then add I wake up in my room. That's the where. Then I wake up in my room at 7 o'clock. That's the when. Finally, I wake up in my room at 7 because I want to go to work. That's the why. Now you don't just have one sentence, you have a mini story that your brain made in English. Let's do another one together. Start small. I open the window. That's the what. Add a where. I open the window in my kitchen. Add a when. I open the window in my kitchen in the morning. Add a why. I open the window in my kitchen in the morning because I want fresh air. Now you've told me a tiny story about your life. Many stories are powerful because they give you context. When your brain has context, it remembers the words longer. It also helps you think faster because you're not just trying to remember one word. You're building a picture in your mind, and pictures are easier for your brain than translations. Let me give you another example. I walk to the shop where I walk to the shop near my house. When I walk to the shop near my house in the evening, why? I walk to the shop near my house in the evening because I need bread. Can you feel how this makes your English thinking stronger? You're not just learning walk or shop. You're putting them together in a way your brain loves. Here's the spike moment. I'm going to give you a scenario and I want you to make your own mini story right now. Imagine this. You are at the beach. The sun is shining. The sea is blue. You can hear the sound of the waves. People are walking, laughing, and playing games. You have an ice cream in your hand. Now use the what, where, when, why method and make a mini story about this. Say it out loud. Yes, right now. Don't just think it, speak it. You might say, I eat ice cream. I eat ice cream at the beach. I eat ice cream at the beach in the afternoon. I eat ice cream at the beach in the afternoon because it's hot and I feel happy. Did you notice something? That story was yours. It came from your mind. And once you start doing this, you will feel more confident, more creative, and more comfortable in English. You won't be stuck thinking, oh, how do I say this? Because your brain will already be practicing putting sentences together naturally. Another great thing about many stories is that they can grow. You can start with 3 sentences, then 4, then 5. Before you know it, you can speak for 1 minute in English without stopping. And that's when you start to sound more fluent. So, here's your challenge for today. Make 3 mini stories before you go to sleep tonight. They can be about anything. Your breakfast, a trip to the park, or a memory from last weekend. Use the what, where, when, why method every time. Keep them simple, keep them short, and most importantly, keep them in English. Transition. Once you can make many stories like this, you're training your brain to stay in English for longer. And when your brain can stay in English, that's when your speaking starts to feel free. So now, let's move to the next step. Keeping your mind in English for longer periods without switching back to your native language. Chapter 5. Surround yourself with English thinking. Your brain is like a sponge. It absorbs whatever you give it the most. If your daily life is full of your native language, then your brain will naturally think in that language. But if you fill your day with more and more English, your brain will start to switch automatically. This is not magic. This is simply how the mind works. It learns to use what it sees, hears, and feels every single day. The more English you surround yourself with, the more natural it will become. Think about this. When a child grows up, they don't study grammar first. They hear the language all around them. Parents talk, friends talk, songs play, TV shows are on. That child's brain gets used to that language, and one day they speak without even thinking about it. You can do the same with English. You just need to give your brain enough English every day, even if it's just a little at first. You don't have to move to another country to make this happen. You can create an English world right where you are. Start small. Listen to English podcasts while you wash dishes. Play English music when you walk to work or school. Watch short videos in English instead of scrolling in your own language. Even changing your phone's language settings can make a difference. Suddenly, you will see words like settings, battery, and calendar in English every day, and they will become normal for you. Here's another easy habit. Before you go to sleep, think about your day in English. Don't worry if your sentences are simple. You can say, I woke up, I ate breakfast, I worked, I went home. The point is not to be perfect. The point is to make your brain practice. If you do this every night, you will slowly build an English voice in your head that speaks without needing to translate. I like to call this the English bubble idea. Imagine you have a bubble around you. When you are inside this bubble, only English exists. No native language allowed. You can make this bubble at certain times in your day. Maybe during breakfast, or when you're walking, or for the first 10 minutes after you wake up. Inside your bubble, you only listen to English, read English, and think in English. Even if you don't understand everything, your brain will get used to the rhythm and sound of English. Now here's your spike moment. I want you to try something with me. After this video ends, give yourself 5 full minutes where you do not think in your native language at all, just English. If you see a chair, think chair. If you feel tired, think I'm tired. If you hear a sound, think it's raining or someone is laughing. You might notice your brain wants to go back to your first language, but don't let it. This is training. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Over time, something amazing will happen. You'll be walking down the street and suddenly you'll realize you've been thinking in English for the past few minutes without even trying. That's when you know your environment and your habits have started to change your brain. So, if you want English to feel natural, you have to live in it, even for just a few moments each day. Build your English bubble. Fill it with sounds, words, and thoughts. Make English your background music in life. And remember, you don't need to understand every single word. Your brain is smart. It will learn. Now that you've learned how to surround yourself with English, we're ready for the final step, the one that will make this habit stay with you forever. Chapter 6. Practice thinking in English every day. Here's the truth. Thinking in English is not something you master in one day. It's a muscle. And just like any muscle, it grows when you use it every single day. You don't need hours. You don't need a complicated plan. You just need a small, clear daily habit. Even 5 minutes a day can change how your brain works. If you wait for the perfect time, that time will never come. But if you start today, you will see the difference in weeks, not years. The magic is in small moments. You can think in English when you are on the bus, when you are walking to the store, when you are cooking, or when you are brushing your teeth. You don't need a desk. You don't need a book. You don't even need the internet. Your mind is your classroom and your life is your practice field. Let's say you are walking. Instead of letting your thoughts wander in your native language, Choose one thing to describe in English. The road is long, the car is red, the wind is cold. That's it. Simple, but powerful. Because every time you choose English, you are training your brain to make it the default. Before sleeping is another golden time. You are calm. Your mind is free. This is when you can think about your day in English. Just pick 3 things you did and make short sentences. I went to work, I ate pasta, I talked to my friend. It doesn't matter if it's simple. The habit is more important than the words. And here's a rule. Don't wait for perfect grammar or the perfect word. Thinking in English is about speed, not perfection. At least in the beginning, if you stop to check every word in your mind, you will break the flow. Imagine you're playing music. You don't stop after each note to check if it's perfect. You keep playing. That's how you must treat English in your head. Keep going. Keep the rhythm. Now, imagine this. Right now, you may need to pause, translate, and then speak. But if you spend just 5 minutes every day thinking in English, in 6 months, you will be faster. You will not stop in the middle of your thoughts. You will speak like the words are waiting for you. You will feel confident. You will feel light. You will feel free. Here's your spike moment. Close your eyes for a second and imagine you are in a cafe with a friend who speaks only English. You are talking about your day. You are laughing. You are telling stories. And you are not pausing to translate. The words come like water. You are in the flow. That can be you if you practice daily. So here's the deal. Start small. Every day. Find your English moment. It could be in the morning while making tea. It could be during lunch. It could be right before you sleep. Just make it happen every day. No excuses. No, I'm too busy. You can always find 5 minutes. And if you start today, your future self will thank you. Because the person you will become in 6 months will look back and say, I'm so glad I didn't wait. You have the choice right now. You can let this moment pass or you can decide. Today is the day I start thinking in English every single day. The first step is small, but the effect is huge, and the only question left is, will you take it? If you enjoyed this lesson and you're serious about thinking in English, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my simple and powerful tips. Like this video and leave a comment telling me which new tip you will try today. Also share this video with a friend who is learning English too, because learning together makes it more fun. Remember, the sooner you start thinking in English, the sooner you'll speak with confidence. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and I'll see you in the next lesson.